And I could go and eat pie on that bridge. I'm actually afraid. I'm actually a little freaked out to do it. I'm actually a little freaked out. People have died here.
And it's right where you are right now.
For real. Hold on a second. Let me just get this up. Can you guys see?
Yeah.
Yeah, creepy road.
Yeah, this is for real, guys.
10 days and thousands of man-hours have been unable to produce any clues.
We have a few leads, a few other options we want to take advantage of, and just try to put together some pieces to this puzzle.
Do you believe the occult may be involved in the disappearance?
Graffiti on this bridge that says, "I do not want to die."
Fucking deer.
He broke me. It says, he broke me. Right here. He broke me.
Was that Mike writing about
When he was leaving Comicscape. Yeah, he broke me.
I don't know. What the fuck is this? Can you guys see this? It's a murder weapon.
What is it? Oh.
Ew, it's bloody. Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting out of here, though, because this is kind of fucked up. Cecil, I hear voices out here, alright? I hear voices. I gotta get out of here.
What if Ethan was murdered and Andrea's at home watching this? Live.
Alright, let me see if I can get out of here. Yeah. You hear that?
Nosfero, does this word not sound like the death bird culling the living dead at dawn? It is the name both ghouls and demons dare not say, for they know it means death for the undead.
We all go a little mad sometimes. Haven't you? People always call them madhouse someplace. I hate to even think about it.
What is up, everybody? How are you doing? We are having our 6th episode. Holy cow.
Oh, damn, you didn't tell me this was the Popped Collars episode, or I would have gotten my frickin' New
I've got my Bride of
New
Frankenstein
Balance,
t-shirt on because I decided to try to, level up a little bit, keep up with you and your awesome shirts, man.
I got to get like a members only thing going on.
We're going to get a members only jacket. We will be the last 2 members.
Members us. It'll just be
members
you and me.
Us.
Members us jackets.
Amen. Oh my goodness. There is a comment that will have some good info for you on. Michael Bancroft hasn't seen the movie yet. Let's see what we've got in the chat here. And I want to start first and foremost. We've got Passmaster Dan. It is great to see you. We have got Rob the Replicator. Congratulations. Excuse me. 1,000 subscribers. Onward to monetization, and congratulations.
I subscribed, I guess.
Yeah, finally Vaughn was like, all right, fine, I'll do it. It's another one of the CG team now. It's good to see, brother. Yeah, congratulations, Mr. Von Stugel. Listen to Bandmade. Send Danny the link. Art man, I don't know if this stream can handle Danny, because Danny's a little terrifying, man. And what's up, Jeremy Lord Crackhead 33? How are you doing, my friend? Killing it on his channel. Real Sean Crummell. Great to see you. Stephen Rockwood never fails. Never fails. He is always there. Dropping the links to these 2 great books. I was working on Nosfero a lot today.
I love Nosfero.
So good, dude.
It's so classic while being so new. It's so energized. So what we need.
So excited.
Thank you for this.
Oh, dude. Thank you for tearing the trenches, which is
painfully
close. $500 away from 70K, man. We are so close. But as Gandhi once said, 70K will fall like a ripe apple. It's only a matter of time. Okay, he may not have said that about 70K, but I think he said it about independence for India. So ponder that for a minute. Slightly different subject. Which
is a bold thing to say for a hungry man.
Yes, it was. It absolutely was. And I think he meant 70K in rupees, but I'm not sure. We're not sure yet. Not falling asleep tonight. Right on. Back then. Shadowhawk talks. It's good to see you, man.
Just for inflation.
Let me see here. What else? Yeah, Zach Fernandez is here. Hail, Zach. How are you doing? We're talking werewolves tonight. Timmy Mello is here.
What else is new, right?
I know. Seriously, what else is new indeed?
When don't Shanth and I want to talk about werewolves?
Never. That's not a
werewolves, not swearwolves.
It's werewolves, Mr. Monkey Boy 1969. We thank you for being here. Holy cow, jumped again. We've got Teflon Ron as always, Michael Bancroft. Let's get this show started. Now, we've already talked about an American werewolf in London, which is whose origin as a film, or its origin as a film, is kind of tied to this one. What is your take on the Howling? And I know things are going to get live in the chat because people usually come down on, one side.
Well, the Howling was just like, it was Joe Dante directing, right? With that imagination of his coming together with like a pretty layered story, like kind of a mystery story with werewolfism attached to it. So it was kind of cool, seeing it play out. And then the ending, I think, is kind of what a lot of people know Howling for. When I was a little kid in the 80s, for me, it was the coolest movie poster I'd ever seen in my life.
Yes.
I still think it's actually one of the coolest, right up there with like Fright Night. And things like and Nightmare on Elm Street. Those are the best. Those are some of the best posters ever. But in horror, they really are memorable. And the Howling still stands out to me, man, because it freaked me out. I was like, that's violent but sexy at the same time.
No,
and that's what the Howling is. That's what I would describe it as, man.
I've got to switch these glasses because these poor guys.
It's made in the 70s. It's in a porno movie theater or something, I think, right?
Yes.
Like every made in America in the 70s, pretty much. But no, it's all sexual and they have a porno theater in American Werewolf in London. Like,
they do.
There's a connection. There's an inspiration, right? There's that inspiration there. So think like swinging 70s when everyone's hairy as hell already and just letting it out with a low cut.
Could you tell if it was a werewolf?
Fuzzy wuzzies. You know, and like, I mean, what's, you know, and it's kind of like what we're living through now. Everything's decadent and swinging, and everyone's a swinger. Everyone's like, you know, Paul or see at the camp, at the poly camp, and that's kind of where they go in this movie, don't they? To like,
yes, they do.
Screw everybody. Camp
bang. This is what is so funny about the you know, porno movie theater. The, you know, all of those different elements is. These movies that are in 1981 and the early 80s. And I also just wanted to point out that Timmy just posted this here in the comment section. So
Timmy, thank you so much, buddy.
We got, awesome. You know what? I usually reserve this for super chats, but Timmy, you've earned this. There you go, man.
Werewolf.
That's right, man. And Matt Barr is here. Oh my gosh, look at all of you guys. It's great to see you. Gosh, it's jumping on me like crazy. Angela Curry, I hope you're feeling better and I hope you're at least not feeling worse. And take care of yourself. Drink lots of fluids. But yes, Vaughn, when time does the art contest end? Or what time, I'm guessing, does the art contest end?
When midnight hits and the day turns over and the frog croaketh twice and the Shanth finally goes to bed, which is actually really late, I'm guessing.
I know, I was going to say, so it ends like tomorrow at noon is what Vaughn is saying.
Actually, why not? No, it turns over at midnight, like, no more
at midnight.
No mas
terras. Oh my gosh, Zach Fernandez, you're always making it rain. Please talk about the TV series from 1987. Do you mean Werewolf, the TV series? Is that what we're talking about? Or the Howling? Is there a Howling TV series?
I think there might have been a Howling that was ill-fated as a TV series, but I can't remember. I do remember Werewolf.
Hail
but
Zach, my God.
That would be a whole nother episode, right? Which we should do an episode on Werewolf. Dude. But it's hard to watch, isn't it? Like, it's not really available.
Some of these things are hard to find, Zach. But for that super chat, dude, we thank you. We'll check it out. And so, again, guys, you guys are going to make a night of it. I can tell already. It's off to one of... There you go. What's up, Vero? Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, so, Zach, yes. So, you mean, yes, the Werewolf TV series. Now, that TV series stars, if I'm not mistaken, is the villain werewolf. What is up, CG Metalsmith? Phoenix Animation. We love you. The thing that was interesting to me about that was the makeup effects were great, and then they had this great actor who was this kind of like old timey, he did westerns, and he played the old man werewolf. It was
Chuck
a great
Connors.
Show. Yes, Chuck Connors was
the
like
rifleman himself. The bad,
yeah, dude. I even loved him in Airplane.
Like,
go ahead.
Like when our parents saw, we were just kids, right, Sean?
Yeah.
But
yeah,
like
totally.
when our parents saw him, like they grew up with him as like one of their badass, like broad-jawed hero types.
Mm-hmm.
So to see him as this like maniacal eye patch villain werewolf was like really badass, kind of and fun for them. And I got in on it too as a kid. I already love horror. I'm watching horror with my parents. Werewolf was one of those cool things. It was set up kind of like the Hulk TV show where he's got werewolfism and he goes from town to town getting into adventures, turns into wolf's out. Wolf's out. Just, yeah. Hitchhiking, wolf's out, trying to find the guy who made him a wolf and save the day and whatever. But it was, it's a cult classic. We would have it on DVD, but they couldn't afford the rights to all the music they used back then. So it's just like the whole deal fell through. They had DVD art picked out and everything. It sucked. So
I know. I think we've talked about that before. And
cool.
I felt better wondering. And when you told me that was the reason, I felt really sad. Shout Factory, come on, what do you need from us?
They tried. Let's crowdfund it.
These two movies, right?
Yeah.
These two movies that we've done, American Werewolf, and now we're doing The Howling, set the groundwork for the new werewolf, and the new incarnation of the werewolf. That from, we went from Lon Chaney to Dear Lord, basically, with these.
to putty, or I don't even know, like new kinds of prosthetics that can changeos that move and shift, and then air things getting moved under your skin to make it look like you're morphing and changing. Rick Baker kind of rewrote the book on werewolf film transformation. And then Howling, did they bring him in or someone else? But they kind of emulated a lot of Rick's techniques, didn't they?
They did. Well, what they did was Rick developed the techniques for the Changeo heads and discussed his plans for it with I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. John Landis. Holy cow. I need to put me in the home, people. Somebody come by, pick me up, and drop me off at the home. John Landis. And then that movie got sort of stalled for a bit while he was waiting to get the money. And then Joe Dante said, I've got this werewolf film, and he was scheduled to work on it. There was a big to-do, and it ended up with Rick Baker going to work on American Werewolf, and you know, at no great loss at all, the genius Rob Bottin going and working on, you know, the Howling. And so the Changeo head technology that they had been working on and he was aware of is in both movies. And let me just hit this super chat.
That's great fact. I love that. That's a
paintbrush this episode, please. Yeah, I know you guys want to see me do a little bit of artwork this episode. When we get to the end, maybe Vaughn and I'll get out our sketchbooks and have some fun. You never know. It could happen. We'll see. But thank you for that. And the rules here are what the rules are, folks. You guys are into those cheerleaders, man. I'm telling you. I'll have you know there's somebody's daughter. All right, so let me see here. And as we look at this, the home has a strict policy on popped collars. Listen, we do. So yeah, the what they ended up doing, and this is the amazing thing to me about it, is they were taking the latex, I guess it was, and mixing it. I believe it was somewhat wrong, so it didn't fully cure. So they could do those squishy effects, and these things would just fall apart shortly after.
Right.
So it was
like kind of a make it and make it. Right. Crazy. They I love it when they push limits like that just to get that one shot. I mean, isn't that what it's all about in the end in film?
Yeah, dude.
When you're on set and you get the shot and you think you get it, like everybody, the whole team rejoices, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, cool. Dude, the pushing things as far as they can go is what we're seeing everybody in independent, creation doing right now. And that's why I love to point to this movie. When you guys look at a movie like The Howling, American Werewolf, a little less so because it's taking place overseas, so it's not exactly our experience. And this is the thing for me. I love the guilt in the chat, Angela Curry. I was hoping he would paint during this episode. Oh, well. All right, look, at some point, I promise I'll get the paints out while I talk and I walk and chew gum. You guys are encouraging. But this is the thing, right? Is that that when you're looking at this flick and you're seeing the evolution of these characters, that's the thing that I find so inspiring, because they're living in a depressed economy. Even in American Werewolf, she talks about inflation and how she's barely scraping by. And in this, you have this well, do you want to do the recap or shall I?
Remember in King Kong how Fay Ray was dealing with the depression? I think
yes, dude,
was an apple or something.
Yeah,
horror movies always kind of are good when they can bring in the darkness of the era.
Yes,
so Howling does that well.
How would you describe this movie to someone who hasn't seen it? Basic plot, and I can jump on too if you need to.
There's this. It's kind of like got a thriller aspect that's kind of cool. So you've got this lady reporter who's being hunted by a serial killer, and the serial killer like has her in a porn theater in the beginning, I think, and is like making her watch some like nasty rapey stuff. It's the whole like it sounds like the end of a movie, but it's freaking the beginning of a movie.
Yes,
guys. Okay, and and the massages back then were quite delightful.
Thorough.
Quite elegant, yes. Very relaxing. Oh, God, yeah. A lot of shots like this to kind of mess with you and unnerve you. This movie explores the animal side of us a bit more when it comes to sexuality, when it comes to murder and violence. it's look at the visuals. Like they'll do these weird, like I remember this having a lot of psychedelic 70s flair to it, from what I remember. And like some really hot werewolf chick.
That it did.
Yeah.
That it did. And so she's a reporter and she is being stalked by this serial killer and or serial something else. And the thing that ends up happening is after she is attacked, she's rescued by the police in this particular, or the person who works there too as well. She believes that the gentleman who attacked her is killed. And this is the thing, to me about it is that, this is also, when we talk about movies in 1981 and the early 80s, we're essentially talking about the 70s. Like the 70s started, like the 60s went into the 70s a little bit, and then it was the same with the 80s. And so, this is the thing for me, right? It's she survives this, narrowly escapes it, is traumatized, is assured that the guy is dead, which unfortunately for us, he's got you could maybe tell in his human form, he had a little bit of the werewolf going on. And, she ends up to sort of calm her nerves, going away for a retreat, right, to this sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Touchy-feely kind of
hippie, lovey, poly camp.
Poly camp, yes.
Can't bang your wife.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, well, kind of, right? It's like it's a bunch of
it happened.
Kind of earthy mountain, mountainy people like living in a camp, and they're like, get away to the mountains, and that's where the mystery starts to get weirder and weirder. Right? Yeah.
I mean, and in a lot of ways, it's yes, killed him. He hasn't painted on stream for days. I feel a painting stream coming on again later. I may have to gird my loins and make it through all this. It's great to see all of you guys in the chat. Yes, please do hit the like button, subscribe. Very, very true. The more you super chat, the guiltier Shanth will get for not painting. Oh God. So they go off to this retreat, and this is the thing. Funny. You get two, absolutely. You get two absolutely with American Werewolf and this, which I consider somewhat companion pieces because they were almost developed at the same time. You get two stellar werewolf movies. And the thing for me is the transformation and the nature of these werewolves. It's not, I got bit by a werewolf, I'm this nice guy, and unfortunately this curse turns me into a psychopath. It's more like the longer you're a werewolf, the more your human self is a psychopath. It's unbelievably disturbing in terms of how they put that stuff together.
Right. Yeah, man. It was, they go there. Doesn't like her. I'm a little fuzzy on it. Is it like her husband or something cheats on her?
Yes. Yeah. He's frustrated with her.
Hottie chick. Do you have any screenshots of her?
I love the way you said that, Paul.
I liked her.
Do you have any screenshots of her, perchance?
Want to go down? I just want to be thorough in our explanations here.
Oh Lord.
That
doesn't go well. Let me see if I can find. Okay, hold on a second here.
Those turtlenecks they wore even in the summer.
Hold on a second. I may have to unshare, man. These screenshots are legit. Man. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can find
suits.
Oh my stars, folks.
Okay.
Where is
cool.
she?
Yeah, that's the kind of production value I keep coming back for. Dude.
Exactly. Oh yeah. Let me tell you. Oh wait. Oh, here you go. So this is Vaughn's one and only. He just wanted to make sure I got that on screen there.
Why do these chicks get me every time, you guys?
I don't know, man.
These gypsy, like, okay, aren't I hot? Well, yeah, you are, but it's not. You're not worth it either, gypsy creature. I know you're going to turn me into a werewolf, so I kind of want to do it,
right.
So I can also turn into a werewolf and get some. But
and very good point. Yes, he was already bitten by a werewolf when he sleeps at the fire with the black-haired girl, of course, because there's that famous scene where while they are in the throes of passion, they both turn into werewolves. Yes, because they'll swallow your soul.
That's how
I love that comment. Werewolf. And so they're in this space, but this idea that is very much that move from the 70s into the 80s, which is You're seeing it happen right now, almost as if we're in a similar time. Maybe these feel-good, happy retreat places are kind of dangerous, deadly cults. You know, I mean, these are movies coming in the wake of you know, Jonestown, and coming in the wake of a lot of cult-like behavior. And we find ourselves in this, you know, in this world where on the surface, everybody is like, oh, feel good, explore yourself, let go. And the person they're there for, played by Dee Wallace, is not feeling better, and nobody seems to care. It doesn't seem to be helping her at all. So it's kind of a strange.
Husband's feeling great.
Yeah, he's feeling great. It seems. Yeah, dude was a vegetarian, because some strange and became a carnivore. Yes, exactly. Oh my lord. Yeah,
metaphor for manhood, right there.
Totally, man. The reason the black-haired girl was replaced for the second movie was yes, she was ill. I know. Yes, I heard about that. With cancer, and did not last long after and passed during the filming. Yeah, it's terrible, man. That is that is rough, because I mean it would make perfect sense, you know, for her to have been in the sequel. And so in this flick, right, you were talking about, this is about the werewolf, this is about the primal, this is about the animal, and we've seen the 80s were nothing if not a cornucopia of amazing werewolf stuff. What does this movie do for you in terms of that no other movies has done, or what's unique about it?
I always love the ending, man.
Yeah.
Like, to me, the ending is this whole, because it's just something when you're a werewolf fan, you talk with your friends, or maybe just to your stuffed animals because you're alone and no one loves you, about how, like, if you had werewolfism, like, what would you do if you wanted to, like, expose it to the world and make it so that there was no possible way they could deny that it exists?
Yes.
And this chick's like, I can handle that. Going on the air in 3, 2, and then she, you know, she tells everyone it exists. Everyone goes,
yep.
And then she shows them.
Yeah. She sacrifices herself to show them too, because she's got, it's a movie where she goes away to this retreat, and she uncovers a secret malevolence, and during the process, her husband they're married, right?
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
so.
Yeah, they're married. Yeah. Her husband, who is pressuring her because she doesn't feel like being intimate after her traumatic shock, which does not make him husband of the year by any stretch. And everybody's being sort of seduced and lured into this place, but it is all an opportunity for werewolves to basically hunt and feed off of these people as they go to this place. And so she, who has already had this traumatic experience, that you've got a person that she's in a relationship with who doesn't understand it, hasn't experienced it, can't deal with the malevolence that she's experienced, and why this guy, who she finds out is still alive because he's a freaking werewolf, is so malevolent. Yeah, and then they all become
serial killer's a werewolf.
Yeah, a serial killer that's a werewolf. Does that count for something awesome about this movie?
I think that's awesome.
Yes.
And then he comes back, and that, and the transformation scene with him was great, and pretty classic. So it's known for those. I think it's definitely known for the transformation scenes too. Yeah, it's just so funny when you think about it. Like, do they just do this every summer, like at Camp Werewolf? They're like, yeah,
gotta grow the pack, man.
Invite some troubled couples to come and have sex, and then we'll eat them, you know?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
It's totally, it's like Jay Lee saying, no, they wanted the couple to add to the wolf pack, needing some new blood.
Oh, yeah, they did want new blood. I forgot
That's
about
right.
That,
yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot about Jay Lee.
That's why they changed him over pretty quick. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that wasn't the hardest sell. No. Once he was changed, he was like, I'm all in. Yeah, the head of the retreat compound really wasn't malevolent, though. That's true. He was trying to tame them. Yeah.
But he was naive about, the monster, of course.
Well, isn't that the interesting thing, right? So this brings us to another aspect of the werewolf lore as it happens in this, which was, they wanted her to join them like their husband. Jay Lee is always like on, always sharp. And the thing for me about it is that how do I word it? There's a lot of critiques of and this is in the late 70s, 80s, of people not being taken seriously by doctors, that they've got this larger mythic turmoil inside of them and this nature of the world that not everything can be rationalized. Or another common thing in the 80s that this did really well is the doctor or the therapist or, the quote, respected professional who thinks he can control something that he can't. You see it even in Aliens, with Gorman, and his God, who's the guy? I just want to say Paul Reiser, who's convinced he can smuggle this thing off of the planet and control Burke. Thank you, Burke. It was Burke. I can't believe I blanked on that. But this place is almost like it is these retreats that they go off to are about experiencing the primal self, and there's this kind of dare I say granola-esque, not to insult anybody's granola, quality to it, but it's not. They're showing you the real primal self. And
they're showing you also like the naive, like the dark side of what you think is all innocent enough and fun and beautiful, of course, is, a horror in and of itself. Isn't it after she exposes herself as a werewolf at the end? A lot of people see it and just think it's special effects.
They think it's special effects.
And they just go on with their lives, which would happen. That would happen.
It would.
People would debate it and people would go, hoax. And the YouTubers, hoax, and then it would be over. We'd move on to like the next, horror off, from our world or whatever. And that's kind of an interesting point that they were making there. That goes back to what you were saying. You could expose people to the supernatural in the other world and they still won't fully jump on board. They won't, it doesn't matter, and she thought she was kind of sacrificing herself for this greater thing. And she did in a heroic way, but like a lot of good it did. You know what I mean?
And that is the for me anyway, the leftover of the 70s, because you've got the, this person knows for a fact that there is something wrong. Something's rotten in the state of Denmark. As she goes off with this other couple and they start investigating, this place and what's going on. They find, of course, the, serial killer lair, almost like the, was it the what's it? God, Buffalo Bill, the red strings tied up, and I'm a werewolf, and here's they find a drawing, here's the retreat, here's the place where we go. And you go, wait a second. Right. And then of course we realize this dude is still alive, is, still at large. And, he's
still
back.
Drawing comics,
as you guys know,
still crowdfunding.
And that transformation that I know Joe Dante thought went on too long. Yeah, they find the files on everyone who are wolves. Absolutely. And it was an unfortunate discovery because there was no time to really do much with it, But one of the best transformations, and Joe Dante, I know, was frustrated because he showed it to the studio. They showed it to the distributors. They were like, don't cut anything. They love it. And he felt like you wouldn't stand there while that was happening for all that time.
So long. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a glorious transformation.
But it was new tech and it looked good on film and everybody was losing their minds and audiences were freaking out. So I get it, but to be honest, that it was one of the more clever things you could do back then, though, is to cut away just before people see it's fake. It makes it more real. That's what they did with Jaws, and it worked.
Yes, it did. And I think that there's a case to be made. It still looks great on film. Well, you know what, Jay Lee, I'm going to tell you this. I really do admire some of the incredible artistry that is done with digital special effects. Those artists are incredible at what the VFX artists have been able to accomplish. The thing that's interesting to me is that and it's not, I like to think it's not just nostalgia, but it could be that those effects, those transformation effects that are done practically, in particular the transformations, seem to hold up so much better long term. I mean, we still look at them and go, because your mind knows it's a thing that's happening in reality, because there's this weird imperfection.
It's not about the visual. It's about the touch that you can't emulate on a computer at the moment. Like I don't know. It's really I don't know, the craftsmanship of making it look real on film is something that still exists, whether you're digital or not. And it's like, even back then, man, the guys that were doing the rubber and the latex wizard stuff were making stuff that could stand the test of time.
Yeah, and it has. I mean, and when we talk about all of the various stuff we do and all of the stuff that influences us. And hang on a second, let me see if I can do this here. Let me see. Oh, that's terrifying for a minute. Hang on a second. Keep going, Vaughn. Keep going.
I remember they used the under the skin kind of like air things that they used in Thriller and the Howling for the transformation. Pretty crazy, pretty cool.
Yes.
You see his skin bubbling as as the killer guy's talking to her,
Yeah, of course. And you got to think about this too. That was
name. I forgot it.
Robert Picardo, right? The guy who was the hologram in Star Trek Voyager, which is kind of one of the more bizarre, turns for a character. That's the same reason I love classic hand-drawn animation over some of the new slick animated movies today. I know you do, brother. I know you do. And it's the thing, it's primal. The human eye can involuntarily pick apart practical from digital. Yeah, those air bladders.
That's where our brains were. Yeah, the air bladders.
So did you ever want to do that kind of stuff?
Yeah. If you grew up and fell in love with American Werewolf in London at a young age, you at one point probably wanted to do monster movie makeup stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, I was into it. I didn't do a lot of makeups as a kid, but like I've always went all out for Halloween from like a young age on.
Oh my God, yeah, I did too.
Characters and makeup and stuff.
So, we've got these great actors in this. We've got all of these different characters. When it comes to werewolves, and yes, absolutely, Moromi, and I have not said hello to you yet. It's great to see you. Metal Movies and Brewskis. Let me see if I've missed anybody else here in the chat. It's great to see all of you guys. Yes. Indeed, Picardo is always a Dante regular, along with Dick Miller. Indeed, yeah. Shoot, and show and tell. That's right. The thing for me about it is like, what is it about it that in terms of its werewolves? Do you prefer this werewolf to American Werewolf in terms of its nature? Like no. Oh, there you go.
No, I never have. I've always been an American Werewolf kid.
Controversy.
Is it?
Well, no, it's interesting. Jay Lee, it's his favorite. I saw a few other people. Let's just see, right? How? Excuse me, right? Howling like or American. Either you're an American or you're not, is what I'm trying to say. No, but right, either American or Howling or whatever in the chat. Let us know where you come down in terms of which one's better. I will say that having watched American Werewolf, the moment of the first werewolf transformation. And then that kill where you see a two-legged werewolf lift somebody off the ground, which was not something American Werewolf could do. Jay Lee's like, no. I'm in this Howling. There you go. It was terrifying seeing her legs kick. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There
Silver
you go.
Bullet. It's another
Silver Bullet, man. Yeah.
One. Stephen King's Cycle of the Werewolf, which was wasn't that illustrated by
Bernie Wrightson? Yes.
Yeah, like
one of my heroes.
Wow, that book as a kid, I stared at it for hours and hours. Just what a cool book. What a creepy as hell werewolf story.
Yeah, and Jay Lee, you will be happy to know that even my illiterate self read the Howling story because once I found out it had been adapted from a book, and you're right, the book is better. The scenario with the character and her attack and what happens, which was very brutal. I have to say, that was a brutal read. And I think sometimes I get those two confused in my head because I had the movie in my head as I was watching it. But it is just great. Oh, wow. That's Sean Crummell. Don't think I've ever seen all of the Howling. Howling is best. Dog Soldiers 2. Company of Wolves is 3. American is 4. Heresy Dale A. But we love you. Thank you for being here. The book is fantastic. So you're an American Werewolf fan. What is it about this that what puts it over the edge for you in terms of this film? Oh, we got a were creature in the frame, Vaughn.
Orange cat. Orange kitty, cat. Everybody. Orange cat. Orange cat alert. So, hey, Jasper,
Yeah.
that's your booty. So, what did you ask me?
I was saying, when it comes to what is it about this movie? I mean, is it close to you in terms of the way they're approached? Because it's interesting. You talk about the female lead, and you talk about one of the female leads, supporting characters who passed away sadly.
Yes.
Is that there's this, you always talk about this primal savagery, this kind of sexiness to the werewolf, this type of intensity. I love Dog Soldiers. It's great. And to me, I'm kind of surprised that this isn't a favorite for you, or is it just the story?
It's up there for me. Like it's in my top 80s horror, for sure. Yeah. It's a great one. And I do like the, everybody seems to not know how to make werewolves sexy, but the Howling wasn't afraid. They were like, yeah, porno theater, huh? Camp hippie screw. Yeah. He's cheating on his wife. They're screwing. They're both werewolves by the fire. Like it was, they did it. They did it.
Yeah,
man.
they went for it.
And it was cool. It made for a cool horror movie with an awesome, epic, unforgettable ending.
Hail Sumothori. Hail
Yeah. Definite props for Howling, man.
Would you have liked it better? And this is something I struggle with this flick. And I think it's particularly for those of you guys who haven't, read the book. I found it particularly, frustrating that she was going to risk her life to reveal the reality of the werewolf. So what happens to her, Dee Wallace Stone? For those of you who haven't seen it. Dee Wallace Stone is bitten by a werewolf. She knows she's going to change, and as a reporter, she decides to do a TV broadcast when she knows she's going to change, so that she can reveal that the werewolves are real. By the way, yeah, Vaughn, we appreciated that. Many in the chat did. Camp hippie screw. It's going to be in the next book. But it's one of those things to where at the end, when people are like, whatever, and change the channel, I get the hokiness of it. But I felt like I could have done without that, and I would have loved it more if it had been a little bit more tragic, if that makes sense. Like if it had to have been so, now what else is on? Kind of, what Truman Show did.
But that was just so like welcome to the 80s.
Yeah, you're right.
We're like the information, because of the TVs starting to get into more third world countries, information started moving faster. Technology and computers started moving into homes. Arcades sprung up. Like we were going through this boom, and like all of a sudden, more information was popping everywhere. And of course, somebody out there is going to go, what else is on? And like,
yeah, it's true.
Like, it's that did you call it pessimism? Maybe what would you call it?
Yes, it's this kind of God, what's the word I'm looking for? Pessimism. Yeah, we can go with pessimism. I think you can
call it that. I mean, but because like we said, like a lot of 80s horror movies explored that, even though a lot of time, the 80s had a lot of good times,
Yes.
But the movies, the artists were going, but don't forget our darkness, guys. Look over here,
yes.
And she literally does say, look at the darkness over here. Wow, I'm a wolf woman. And then everybody's just kind of like, yeah, whatever. That's remember the end of They Live, where like they all get exposed and like there's no way for anybody to deny it. That was refreshing as hell.
That was great.
Whereas with the Howling, it was just kind of like, nope, bad guys still going to keep being werewolves.
Especially because they cut to that scene in the bar. Her name was Karen, wasn't it? Yes, it was. That's a great catch. Yes, and it is. It's one of those movies where I think that for me, everything I know about werewolves, when I was following artists, when I was looking at the illustrators of that time, right, I never realized until I processed it that was the moment when those werewolves were really created. So when I looked to Tim Vigil, when I looked to all these different illustrators that I'm a fan of, they were all doing either American Werewolf, but most were doing the werewolves from the Howling. I think aesthetically, that one ruled the day. The bipedal, long-eared, pointy-eared demon from hell.
That's what was so interesting, was American Werewolf kind of broke the mold by being like, nope, we're going down. We're going all fours, baby. Don't cut that weird, everybody. And then
it's going to happen.
It's already done now. And then a lot of people kind of were like, dude, but I want to see some bipedal. And the Howling was like, we got you, son. We got you, kid, which I thought was really cool because as a kid, you do want to see more badass bipedal, and the Howling delivers,
Absolutely did. It absolutely delivered. And I think that,
so does
for
your
me,
book, apparently.
Dude. Yeah.
Look at that armpit.
I cheat too. I want to add that I do both a little bipedal and a little on all fours.
Just whatever you need.
Whatever I need.
Well, I have a feeling a bipedal werewolf could go all fours pretty easy. I don't see why they would be like, oh, I don't do that. No, they're a freaking dog person.
So we talk about, the sort of insanity of cool werewolf potential that was explored because essentially two directors got this idea for werewolf movies, little different aesthetics, but went for the same visual special effects. But the one thing that I will always love Joe Dante for, even though it does look a little bit dated, and if I could play it without getting, struck or in trouble, I would, is both with Gremlins and in The Howling, he goes for a stop motion sequence to show the whole body of the werewolves moving, and I love that. Do you remember that?
Oh, it's been man. Do you have it?
Oh, I don't know if I can show it. Let me see if I can.
I like Crypt too.
Get us canceled for the day. Let me see here. Stop motion Howling. Hold on a second here. Let's see if I can find it here. I don't know if it's ever easy to find because unfortunately there is now some K-pop thing going on called The Howling. I almost hashtagged this The Howling, and I was like, oh no, I'm not even kidding, people. It's I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. Hang on. That's where we are.
Well, don't worry about it that much. Anyway, it's just been too long since I saw the first one, even though I thought I knew it in and out, because I owned it on DVD for years and watched it a bunch. It's like, did they come out good? I remember not liking it. I can't remember though.
What, the stop motion?
Yeah, is it good?
Well, it wasn't sublime. I will be the first to say that it was not sublime. Let me see here. Let me remove. I know that's just a little glimpse of her before she goes. Apologies.
We love you.
Let me see here.
Gypsy lady of the night. Turn into a werewolf with me while we make love by the fire.
Look, that's how
I have this book, man. What is it? Is it the werewolf book? Is that what it's called? And it's kind of an old book. And this guy was going around Europe way back when and trying to document cases of werewolf attacks for real. Okay. And they believed this stuff.
Yep.
And it turns out as you're reading the book and his documentation, he's just writing about cannibals.
Yes.
He's just writing about good old-fashioned cannibal attacks in the crazy mountains and stuff. But what got interesting was he would ask people like their current lore, like whatever region he was in, all throughout Europe. What's your lore on the werewolves? How do you become one? Like, how do you do it? They all had different weird lores, which he wrote down. And as a kid, I checked this book out. And as I was reading all the lore and stuff, there's some rituals for becoming a werewolf that are kind of sensual, are kind of sexy. Like it's the whole but it involves like nightshade and putting all this stuff in a pot of boiling water on a hill, stripping down into the moonlight and like rubbing yourself down with it, which of course the nightshade is going to make you hallucinate. And then like a demon comes out and you make a deal. It's evil, dude. It's creepy. But but I'm reading all this and I'm thinking like, damn, man, werewolves are more like interesting than people realize. Like we don't explore like a lot of the lore when it comes to like how do you become, it's just a bite, it's always just a bite. Like you go, back in the day in Europe, you'd make deals with the devil, or you would just simply put on like a wolf's tail or like a little wolf fur as a belt, and you could turn into one and run around. It was just different with every country.
Yeah, for me, the two that I would love people to be more influenced by, if possible. And again, this is the thing about what we do here, right? It's tough to, with a clear conscience, to say the thing I would like to see other people do because our audience expects us to do it. Like, well, then go do it, Shanth, right? Is Werewolf of London, which is the first. That's where we get our Wolverine, hair and everything else, which is just a great movie. Going way back. This is before Lon Chaney, Jr. Creighton Chaney's Wolfman. And then outside of that, also Curse of the Werewolf that has one of the most unbelievable stories of how a person becomes a werewolf. It's nothing to do with this, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, JDA? We got you in the chat. Let's see who else. Did I miss anybody else? Anthony Gonzalez Clark, it is great to see you, and I did see you earlier. Let's see, make sure I have everyone in here. Cool. Yes. This is the thing for me, right? Yes, the Hammer film Curse of the Werewolf. And so, yeah, I mean, we talk about how there are a lot of werewolf books. And I guess in a lot of ways, Rob Bottin, who, for anybody who doesn't know, left the industry, the special effects makeup industry, in frustration over the constant, creative interference that he was experiencing. And in a lot of ways, the Howling werewolf was a victim of its own success, because almost every werewolf that we ever draw is a howling werewolf these days, right? I mean, if you had to pick, would you say so? I mean, maybe there's one I'm missing, but
it's pretty standard if you just type in like werewolf or sketch drawing, whatever. Is that little guy stabbing that werewolf in the back, man?
Yep.
And is it coming out his front like all up top? How is it coming out up top like that? What's wrong with me? Is it my brain?
Nope, it's the guy up here. I haven't run into that.
He's getting him too.
He's double shanked.
No.
Yeah, man.
Oh, my boy, man. My boy.
He's in bad shape, man. These are dire times. These folks are
they look
standing
serious.
over him. I can't even get this at a flat angle here for you to see. Hang on a second. Let me move this up here. Yeah, these folks are standing over him. They've just taken him down.
That is so beautiful. Look at him. Look at that shot of him with the blood, like just that nice puddle of blood. Oh, that's so nice.
And there we go. This is how we do the fantasy stuff.
You ever see that movie, The Taking of Deborah Logan?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Heavens to Betsy.
You okay. You know what I'm talking about with the snake swallowing.
I know what you're talking about, man.
You know what I'm talking about.
I absolutely know what you're talking about, man.
Woo! We'll do an episode on that later.
Yeah, we absolutely can, man. It's the key, it's the key. Yeah, soon those demons will regret their actions. Yeah, well, they'll regret them on the next page, for a very short period of time. Yeah, I'm not reading that, Mr. Von Stugel, but I salute your comedy, man. You're killing me, brother. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing about it, right? When we're in this realm of making monsters, I think Oliver Reed's makeup was a really cool approach. I know Mike Hill is doing, doing a recreation of that, or he has done a recreation of that. I have to tell you, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Angela. I hope it's a good thing that it looks a little trippy, but it is. These are big mythic stories, and I guess the reason I wanted to talk about the Howling is because it is not my favorite werewolf movie, which is still American Werewolf, but there's a part of it that's interestingly enough tied to my work is tied to it, because my werewolf has the ability to, when this character is a werewolf, still has its human mind, although it's not demented and crazy, and at the same time takes on a lot of the visual aesthetics of the Kessler wolf from American Werewolf in London. So without these two werewolf movies, the lore that we have today, what we understand as being werewolves, would not be what it is today. And I think it's an incredibly important movie if anybody is interested in knowing, like, where does this stuff come from, right? It came from this year, in movies.
Camp Hippie Screw. That's where.
Yes, Camp Hippie Screw is where it came from, and it's an incredible thing for me. Like when I'm looking at it, I just go, this is what you can do. Yeah, the Wolfman is still my favorite. Now, do you mean, and I know this may be blasphemy to some, the original 41 or the new one? That's the tough, because some people like the new one, I know, and some people I know. I'm guessing.
And that one is good though.
Yeah, I love Rick's stuff in that.
Then what else? And then you have a Monster Squad Wolfman bipedal. And you have Fright Night Part 2 Wolfman, played by the same guy who played Wolfman in Monster Squad. And I think he's bipedal in Fright Night 2, isn't he?
Yes.
Bipedal?
Gosh, I was just looking at that movie too as well.
Fright Night 2?
Yeah. The new for sure. Okay, cool. Loving the new Wolfman. That's all I had to ask. Yeah, I think my favorite werewolf, if you want to see a lot of great nods, There's someone in the chat that appreciates all the blood. You know who you are. Yeah, I know who that is too. Absolutely. That's why there's so much blood in this painting. But it's that the Benicio del Toro, the Wolfman, has a nod to Curse of the Werewolf with that Anthony Hopkins with the white werewolf fur. But you're right. I mean, Monster Squad was bipedal. Was it Fright Night you were just saying was bipedal? And that, what was the name of the werewolf?
In the Company of Wolves.
In the Company of Wolves, Dog Soldiers were bipedal.
Well, I was still thinking about the 80s.
Oh, yeah, still in the 80s.
And see, what ends up happening is actually American Wolf of London ends up standing out for not being bipedal. And that made me like it more. It's just me. But that just because it's bipedal doesn't mean it's not the most badass thing ever. I mean, that's the way a lot of stories call to do a werewolf, you know?
Yes.
It depends, you know? So it's all how you want to do it. Hound of Hell versus, you know, more human style giant, or, you know. Well, it's cool. It's sometimes I like to in Monster MD, the werewolf can be bipedal-esque, but he's huge and like he rides the guy, so he makes him, you know, he makes him run around on all fours. So it's
this is my question.
You know,
do you have some of that image from Monster MD you can call up that I can share with these fine folks? Because Monster MD, if I got to tell you guys, I do not like this man. I'm going to tell you why. Okay, because I was comfortable being a bigger fan of Terror in the Trenches. And then I had forced quality time at the camp we've been mentioning. Vaughn sent me there to get over my fear of I don't know what, of those kinds of camps. And I ended up spending quality time with Monster MD. And now I'm split right down the middle. And the more I haven't read Terror yet, it's just I love what I've seen so much. That's how good it is, guys, for those of you guys who haven't backed it. So I finally went into the Terror in the Trenches campaign and added the add-on for a physical copy of Monster MD because I freaking love that book. It's so good. I love those characters. And so, yeah, and of course, werewolves. How could you go wrong? How could you go wrong?
Werewolves.
Yeah, Hound of the Baskervilles is a huge influence on Phantomas, actually. Huge. I love Hound of the Baskervilles, which I have right here, a facsimile edition of. I keep it right next to me. Conan Doyle is my favorite author, and Hound of the Baskervilles is my favorite. Well, it's tied between that and The Lost World for my favorite books by Conan Doyle. Lost World's genius. Hail Apex Comics. Great to see you. Yeah, the Howling is worth another watch at the very least with a shout factor. So you got ready to rock and roll. Hold on, folks. Hold on to your butts, as my man in Amsterdam, Jules Winfield, would say. We have got, best Sherlock Holmes novel is right. We've got something beautiful to show you guys. If you haven't completely fallen in love with Vaughn because of his astute understanding of horror, mythology, pulp, and, by God, comics and story, you will when you read this. Walk us through it.
Well, he is searching for Heidi, who's run off with his medical truck that he's kind of trying to get rid of because he wanted to quit. But he ends up using his werewolf buddy, Fritz the werewolf, from the beginning. He kind of took all of Fritz's money at the beginning of the story. Okay, so now he's riding Fritz. Fritz is doing a huge favor and helping him track down the van with his sense of smell. He finds it abandoned. Can't find Heidi anywhere. And Fritz is like, you're going to have to pay up. And he's like, here's some money. And he's like, what? More money, more money. And he pretty much, Fritz gets like all his money back. Kind of fun at repeating what happened in the beginning, and then runs off. His arm starts hurting. His arm's been hurting the whole story. And he goes in, he uses this little monster tracker thing. To find them. Yeah. This is cool. Since I visited this book, and he ends up finding this little girl has been abducted by this creeper, Button Eyes or whatever.
Monica, if you're out there on the other side of the planet, we've got Mr. Von Stugel saying Monica is top tier talent. Preach.
Yeah, look at this.
And the contest ends. One of my groomsmen asked. The contest ends is tonight at 11:59, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if you
Okay,
guys get
just
it
making
in.
sure.
If somebody's like, dude, if you just give me like a few hours, I promise, then yeah, cool, we'll work it out. Like,
because we've got a top flight animator who I really think should add something to it in the chat. That's all I'm saying, man.
All right,
you can do it. I remember.
So
don't you remember
his art,
like college? Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Heidi's in trouble. This guy's walking out with a girl in a body bag to feast on. He's a ghoul. He feasts on the dead. So like undead monsters are just a treat to him. And his arm, his undead, our boy, Dr. Wyatt Black has a monster arm. You can see here. It's been hurting him. He's been getting bit by werewolves, vampires. He kind of uses it to block because he won't get infected because it's not really his arm. It's kind of an undead arm that was given to him. So he can keep being a doctor and help out monsters. And that's, you can learn about that story in this. But yeah, finally his arm kind of wakes up when things get real dire. And shabam, he's got a werewolf arm. And then it kind of warps again, and shabam, he's got a kind of a vampire arm, and he can use hypnotism. So he starts getting some monster powers, you could say, which is kind of what the book was always built up to.
Vaughn, this is so for people wondering why it is at this point academic that Vaughn and I are kindred spirits, man. We both have these quasi monster character, or these monster adventure characters that have an element of monster that has been implanted onto their body that gives them these amazing powers. And Monster MD for me is one of my favorite reads in Comicsgate. I love that book.
Well, thanks.
So
man.
For any of you guys, and I want to just make sure mods in the chat, and I feel like I have not given my mods enough love today. If we could drop in the actually, no, I'm gonna lead by example. Lead by example. Stephen Rockwood already did it, so let me just make sure if I can get a hold of this here, and hopefully everything doesn't go pear-shaped here. There we go. So there is hopefully the link if it comes through, or it didn't come through. There it is. There is the link for Terror in the Trenches, and there is an add-on with that for Monster MD. And I cannot speak highly enough about Terror. I love everything about it. It is, you took that world and you just blew that world out and had so much freaking extra amazing stuff in it. It's this own thing. It's like, holy cow! I'm trying to think of a really good way to do it, because I'm like, it's almost like it takes on the scale of BPRD in terms of the amount of characters, but their characters are so much more fun. And I say that with love to Mr. Mignola, but it's your the Bruce Timm on steroids is your aesthetic, man. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Yeah, dude, it's
Bruce
beautiful.
Timm. He's a big influence on me. You know, this book had to happen. It was this. It's so funny when you're wrestling with what you're supposed to do next as an artist. And I didn't think I was going to do this next. I was like, screw that, man. But like Black Terror, working on him late into the night, it was like, you know, when you're an artist, your work becomes therapy. Sometimes you skip the work you're supposed to be doing to do other stuff because, I don't know, it's just you're working on yourself in a weird way too. You're helping yourself feel a little better about yourself and the world around you. And I don't know, there's just a lot of cool work to delve in. And that's all I thought it would be. But man, Black Terror would not be denied. He was like, no, like show the world, like, because I'm never going to get hired or Wolverine like I should be. Yeah. But I can write Black Terror and show them what I can do with a character that you thought didn't matter, that there's not that much going on with. Well, there is, guys. Like, I'm here to like show you that he's badass. He's dark. He's brutal. He tried to be a good guy. He tried to be a pharmacist. Yeah. How nice guy do you have to be a pharmacist? Anyway, but he, you know, in the end, he couldn't deny, you know, we all have our dark side, and he, you know, he needs to embrace it. He's maybe learned to embrace it in one night of total horror and terror when dark Nazis from his past come back for revenge and level his neighborhood. They turn it into a crater. And that neighborhood then becomes an ashen battleground where he takes on like his worst nightmares come back to haunt him. So, and some of his darkest secrets and mistakes come back to haunt him. So it's one of those guys. It's everything that I think a good hard-boiled like Dark Avenger tales should be, with a lot of style.
This right here, you are not going to see in a mainstream, even an indie publisher, which is, this is just because there's something about the way you write this character that is so raw and so intense, and the way that this consumes the character. And that's why, I guess I understand, I respect, I'm not going to judge your journey here. Okay, Vaughn. But I gotta say, I get why you like American Werewolf. It's the one I prefer. But the Howling, to me, the way that people can become consumed by the instincts that happen when they're consumed, in this case, right, by the terror gas, is something that makes me think of that feral quality of the Howling. But then, of course, when I see Monster MD, and you're right, the werewolf in it, I go, oh, totally, American Werewolf. He's riding the werewolf.
He's riding a freaking werewolf, man. Yeah, it's something that I think I like to explore, the idea of a good guy hero who goes into a berserker rage and kind of friend and foe alike are in trouble. I need to kind of run for it. I like that idea as a Wolverine fan. Yes. And to get to explore Terror's version of that is pretty sweet. It's called Blacking Out, of course. For him, and he and you'll get to learn about that and like what happens when he does, and how he's afraid of it, and how the mistakes he's made in his past because of it. So, but he's a hero in the end, where it's not all about graying everything out. That's not where we're at with this. Like, in the end, it's all about doing the right thing and him being a good hero who's gonna do what it takes to take down the bad guys, even if he does have to be more brutal than anyone else out there, because he's the type of hero that I love. The guy in all black who kind of creeps out the other heroes a little bit, who's kind of more lonery, kind of off to himself, That's how I kind of saw him. And here we're kind of getting into his Terradome,
dude,
his lair of...
How many times would you say on stream we've talked about this particular page, out of curiosity?
I don't count. I just enjoy the ride.
Yeah, Eric and I think both love this page because of the amazing, obviously, Monica's amazing drawing, but also your colorist is a gangster.
Oh, are you kidding me? Tiago is more than a gangster. We're Facebook buddies, and I noticed he's posting all these pictures of him on stage rocking out with a guitar, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not surprised. It shows in your work, dude. You rock this color.
Moments like this, man.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, you old softy.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, I will say,
it's got to be more than just like he's a guy and he's gonna fight. Like, he's got to have things hovering over his head. He's got to have layers, Like, for him to take the terror gas again had to be more than just him going, I'm afraid I'm going to black out again and then just murder everyone around me. It had to have the weight of his ex-wife, or his wife who's died, Annie, kind of hovering over him. And right here on this panel, he says, I know I promised you. That he wasn't going to be the terror again. He wasn't going to give into his dark side. He was going to be a good white coat wearing pharmacist, like with her. But she's gone, and the neighborhood needs him. It's time to be a terror again, y'all. So that's where our story starts kicking in the high gear.
Yeah, there's this. And only because you've told me Bruce Timm, so I'm going to naturally use it as a reference. It's just one of those reflexes, right? But the shot that we're looking at earlier here, I find myself thinking of Mr. Freeze's wife in the most beautiful, poignant way. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying that as emotional thing. He's
my favorite Batman villain.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I like his sentimentality. So maybe that's where that's from.
I think it's just this is
Maybe that's where I got
when I read all your stuff, this is totally your romantic side, dude. That's what that is.
Yeah.
You're romantic. It is what it is, man. I think
I like it. Like I think women who read my books appreciate it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've had a lot of commentary.
And then you're gonna drop your Tinder in the chat. No.
You know, it's weird. I have Tinder, but it's not for dating. Are you kidding me? It's for screenshotting the insane lefty profiles. Like I almost want to run a Twitter of just insane lefty Twitters or Tinders. I just found one tonight that just would it would melt your mind just to hear it. It was
by this woman named Shaniqua ENJETI'S.
Her name was Blaine.
There you have it.
She's the bane of Western civilization, the liberal white woman. Her name's Blaine.
Oh my gosh.
And she's gender neutral and she's pansexual and she already has a partner and she's poly, down for friends, fun, or play.
Oh my.
I could keep going anyway, but we got enough hoes. That hoe gets enough attention in life. Let's talk about a real hoe. We're talking about Lady Satan, the mystic gone ballistic. This girl's real hoe. She was an innocent fortune teller with her awesome husband, just living the life, being rich and getting paid by the rich and famous around the world to do seances and tell fortunes and do a cool show with her lovely husband until Nazis firebombed him. She watched his face melt right in front of her, and she became the mystic gone ballistic. She applied her telekinetic witchcraft powers to become a gun witch.
Yes.
A literally acrobatic floating arsenal of death to all Nazis who stand in her way. She comes equipped with multiple cult 1911s and some beautiful high capacity gun heals that she will use to blow your brains out the back of your skull. So yeah, she's a badass. She's an agent of vengeance like Black Terror. And so we get to see her come in and just destroy.
But she's a little bit more controlled, but a little bit more ruthless, it seems.
Yes, I wanted her to be I wanted to explore different flavors of vengeance with her character.
Yeah,
you know, to make her character stand up, but also it's an opportunity as a writer. Like she can't be just like Black Terror in her style. You know,
this needs to be updated because at this point, right? That was the launch percentage, and I'm not throwing stones. Rob Arnold might still be watching.
Oh yeah, thanks for pointing that out.
I'm not throwing stones in
the next batch of color pages might be the last. We might be done with colors. So
yeah, soon to be done with colors by Rockstar colorist, amazing artists. Guys, look at the world. And am I correct in saying that in your incarnation of these characters, these are the first appearances in this book? This is these have not happened anywhere else. Your incarnation of terror. This is it. This is the jumping
Terror and Lady Satan are golden age heroes that I have reinvented to, you know, born again hard to entertain the hell out of you. And then all the villains are mine. And so these are all first appearances of this great cast of some really memorable, bizarre, awesome powered villains. That's the type of stuff I like, man. I like throwdown battles like in manga. But like, I'm kind of, as a writer and a craftsman, I'm kind of making my own version of that. I'm not just imitating it. I'm kind of crafting like take what you like and leave the rest, right? Like like a salad bar. So like, God,
I love that movie. Sorry.
So like, yeah, of course. So like, but no, I do. And so like, I learned from manga and I learned from those throwdown fights that tell stories, but also have like great fight choreography, dude. Like, and more than fight choreography, because the fights are about powers being used in creative, cool ways to counter each other in ways that surprise the reader and entertain the hell out of you. And so you feel the weight of the fights too. So they aren't just like two punches and then Superman wins. No, like I like throwdown. And so this book becomes these throwdown fights. Like we set everything up in book one. It's awesome. It's brutal. There's action. There's blood. But like as the book continues, man, and he gets into these other characters, like you see Saul back up there, the undead kind of trap jaw looking dude.
Oh,
you see
dude,
the golden
love
eyes
that character.
For the lock shot, the sniper with the golden eyes. Like these turn into some brutal kind of throwdown matches where Black Terror is not looking like he's going to make it. You know what I mean? Like you have to see how he's going to figure out how to use his mind as well as his, you know, powers to defeat these badass killers, man. So it's a fun ride, you know? and the story's just solid and cool. And as all 3 books are, it's going to be a trilogy. So I think that's going to be really cool to have on the shelf, you know, when it's all over. Real brutal. Yeah. Oh yeah. We have Terror Files too. If people are into the character designs, I want to give you guys like high quality prints, and on the back, it's kind of like a fake, like secret, you know, Black Ops, top secret classified files that reveal stuff about the characters.
Yeah, here you go. Always looking to get in a future project with Comicsgate to do a good horror comic. Currently working on My Sister Suprema with Chuck Dixon. Hail, Chuck Dixon.
Ooh,
keep me in mind. We absolutely shall keep you in mind, Anthony Gonzalez Clark. And you sent that super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. So we, of course,
love writing horror.
We must salute you. And yeah, you've got one of the best writers in Comicsgate for my money. Nobody drives the action like this man. So let's salute you here, man. Here you go. Gone but not forgotten. We tip our hats. Yeah, there were some beautiful comments in here too, by the way, right here from Dale A. Speaking of, those character pages are what sold me.
Yeah, when I still wasn't sure if I was going to do the book, I told Monica, let's just do character designs. Like, well, I did character designs for all these, and I handed them to Monica, and I said, I want you to do a new kind of character design sheet where we're seeing different cool poses kind of collaged on each other that really bring out the action and the energy, you know? I don't want them just standing there and then from the side, then from the back. Like, I don't want a typical. I want to win over readers with these sheets, and as you can see, Monica just like killed it. And when these were done and colored and I saw them all next to each other, I was like, how could I not do this book? Look at this cast, you know. The cast was not an accident either. Like, I knew as I was writing this late at night that he had to go, like, the cast was going to make or break the story in a lot of ways, because Black Terror on his own is awesome, but he needs to go up against some of the nastiest, you know, villains around to be.
Got to show those gun heels, man.
Those little derringers that Kelsey Shannon gave us there. Isn't that cute?
Those are great, man. Kelsey is the man for anybody who, I mean, I'm assuming most people who are hanging around CG know who Kelsey Shannon is. But between the work I've seen him do on every other project, Clint Stoker's Dracula cover, which is just dynamite.
Oh,
this is as well.
That's amazing.
I mean, and you can also get a replica of the Terror Vial. And come on, y'all. Get on this.
Ooh, campaign only, glow in the dark Terror shirt.
Right. Glow in the dark, kids.
I love having an excuse to put crossbones on everything. It's so much fun.
Dude,
I usually just do it without getting paid, you know.
Another, yeah, that's totally true, man. Oh, here we go. The bomber patch is unlocked. That's right. These are unlocked. Baby. Everybody who backs this book is gonna get this. Can I put you a bit on the spot, Vaughn? Since I haven't been doing that for the last 30 minutes.
You never do that. Sean.
I've never.
I actually have a sticker and a patch right here in my hand.
Oh, sweet, man. Hang on a second. Hang on. There we go. I gotta say this, man. The beautiful. Oh, I gotta make you big.
Iron on back.
Geriatric Shanth is there. You go, guys. So let's talk shop here for a second. You mentioned drawing, and we've had conversations, you know, privately about drawing and all of that kind of stuff. Do you have any of your sketches kicking around you can share with us for Terror and any of the stuff you've been doing? Because I have a proposal.
I always do.
Outside of my proposal for marriage, which will be at the end of the stream.
Ruined.
I know. Spoiler.
I guess I'll let everyone know my rejection will be at the end of the stream as well.
That's exactly right. Listen, I know you only have eyes for that. You need. It's not me. You know, it's you. You need to work. You're kind of working on yourself right now.
Me?
Already rejected me on Tinder. So, but for next week, I think ruined. Oh God! By the way, hail for the Southern slang there. Ruined. That's what my mother-in-law always says. I love it, man. Yeah, what? I have to tell you, man. How would you feel about for next stream? Because I was thinking about this today. Let me know what you think. Because we are also talking about this. A talking general horror and drawing like a bunch of dorks stream.
You want to draw like a bunch of dorks the stream? I'm so there.
All right, man.
Sure, I'm there.
What do you guys think, man? Us drawing some crazy, the monster stuff we're working on, doing some sketches, showing you guys like all of our silly sort of drawing, because I've been wanting to do a draw hangout stream. These guys have been asking me to do for us to do some painting and some talking horror. And I just think it could be a hell of a lot of fun, because you yourself were telling me that, you want to be doing some draw streams. And yeah, Lord Crackhead 33 is seconding that or thirding that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we need to do this, man, because I love watching other people draw and hanging out with people. And I think we could have an absolute blast doing it. So what have you got? Have you got it called up here?
I've got a little. Okay, let's see. Let's share this. This is so silly. Okay, here we go. Oops, wait, no, not that.
Hold on, let me move that so it make it a little easier.
Share screen. All right, this is just this was me messing around. I couldn't stop as I'm writing terror. I can't stop drawing the characters like what I see them as, and doing little character design. And so like
so these are your drawings, yes?
Yeah. And one of them, the first I did this one with the jacket over the shoulders and stuff, and like I'm like, oh, it looks pretty cool. I wanted him to look more like a motorcycle thug, And then the next one, he starts to look a little different. And the next one where the jacket's off. And then Lady Satan, she pretty much is the same. They're both pretty much the exact designs that made it.
Yeah.
That we used. So that's what I did there. And then you see me messing with like logos and little notes here and there. Do I have anything else I could show? It's all
for those of you guys who've wondered about these Vaughn drawings that we've talked about from time to time. This is Vaughn drawing, and you can see how much. I mean, come on, guys!
Just figuring out Lockshot's eyes.
Very cool, man.
Like which ones work, which ones I was doing all these tests. Which ones work for like they remind you a little of a scope.
Yes, of course. Oh, beautiful, dude.
Yeah.
We need some sunglasses with this, man.
Oh, that'd be rad.
Oh, here's one for you, Vaughn. From Phil, our guy Phil.
Oh
man, I wish I could draw like Vaughn. There you have it.
You can draw, boy. Got to draw with your buddies. We'll draw next week.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's what we'll be doing. We'll be drawing. Yeah, those are awesome, says Timmy Mello. Hail Timmy Mello. And thank you guys for backing. This book, I want to see it get to 70K in the worst possible way. I've already accomplished or I should say, it has been accomplished. One of my dreams this week. Rob Arnold, the man, the replicator, hit 1K subscribers on his channel. And now I've got a draw stream planned with Vaughn, but I want to get him, draw it out. Absolutely right. I want to get that book. I want to get Terror to 70K. It just needs to happen for my growth, bra.
Yeah, you and me both, man.
Dude, it's a great book, man. It's such a great book. And it's I think
people are gonna be happy with it.
69,554. I think we picked up another backer there. So there you go.
Are you kidding me?
That's where we're at right now. Yeah. So we are closer and closer to 7K. 400 and let's see here, $46. That's all we need. And we're there. Looks great, Vaughn. Look at all the love in the chat, man. Look at all the love in the chat for this guy. Because it's amazing. Dude, I appreciate it because getting over 70 would be really awesome and would really help us get into the second book, real soon, so I can start delivering 2 books to you a year. Yeah. So we're working towards. We're almost done, and we're getting it. I mean, we launched not that long ago in the scheme of things, so I hope people are ready, man. You're gonna get your book sooner than later with some sweet bonuses. Dude, this is the thing about it, right? This is the thing about Terror, and this is the thing about the stuff that I'm working on right now with Nosfero. I had there's this aspect to the way in which we draw comics that it's something that we love to do. Like we hang out, we draw this kind of stuff. Yeah, this stream got really gay very quick. We've got miles to go before we sleep, my friend. Vaughn's writing on Monster MD. Here you go from Lord Crackhead 33. Vaughn's writing on Monster MD is still in my top 3 CG books of all time. Terror is going to be good. Back it today. There you go. Hell yeah, Vaughn, you rock. Look at this, man. This is what we do here, guys.
Love the chat. Beautiful, amazing people who changed my life and all that good stuff. And you guys are, how cool are you that you're ahead of the curve on like what's going on in indie? Now that Eric July's made such a splash, all these other people are showing up, and you guys were like, you've been here partying, man. How cool is that? Supporting other cool artists. Good on Eric July, of course, man. What a
awesome, he's been doing this. Yeah,
awesome event. And people can't appreciate. Some people can't appreciate it. Oh, thanks, Jim. Hell yeah. People can't appreciate it for what it is, and it's so weird that they can't. It's a great thing. If you love comics, you should be happy. You know.
Yep,
it's great.
And Jim Cox knows about the Into the Pie Barons, by the way. I remember seeing him in the chat when I was watching that stream. Jim, was I correct? Were you in the Walmart pie stream? Do let me know. Holler at me in the chat. Yeah, this is the thing, right, guys? When we're looking at comics and we're doing this stuff, first of all, Eric July this week, that whole thing has been a huge game changer. And I think when we look at a movie like The Howling, it is the end of the 70s, beginning of the 80s kind of move of you're seeing still a similar kind of narrative that's, I don't want to say it's totally nihilistic, but it does have that kind of quality to it.
Yeah, the death of free love, dude.
The death of free love. Yeah, the death of a lot of these ideals. The pie stream, yes, the going to Walmart to get the pie with EVS. Yes, that one. Yep. And this is the thing about it, right, guys, is that we're in that right now. We're in that time period, and things are starting to go wild. So when I go and you see me doing, let me see if I can get that to focus. This is a tiny, tiny panel when you see it in the finish. But when I'm working on this kind of stuff, I'm thinking of all that great comic stuff. Oh, hail Jim Cox. Yeah, one of my favorite streams. Yeah. Each of us has a comic book waiting to be released. Indeed. Yeah, rumors of my demise may have been greatly exaggerated. There's only one pie. Well, there's many, but that one was the finest pie stream because they went into the Pie Barons. That's why I edited that video, and I had to have that on there, man. But it's one of those things to where when you guys are looking at this stuff, you guys all know the references. The way that you can capture in the art form of comics, even in a small figure in a small panel, that kind of rage. I wanted these vampire characters, these undead, to capture this stuff. You know, the elements, even though that is not my werewolf of choice, I will always be influenced by both The Howling and American Werewolf. And that is where, as you guys know, this character right here is a combination of both. And that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to make the coolest stuff that comic books have ever seen. And we want to make the best stuff of our generation. And I will say this about Von Klaus. His incarnation of Black Terror is the incarnation for this generation, period. I don't think anybody's going to be able to do what he does because he didn't think about how do I take what's there, exploit it in a way to where it's surrounded by normalcy and it's whatever. He amped it up and he created a universe that's big enough for Terror in the Trenches to have a rich future and a rich present in this world. And this is the thing for me about doing Nosfero. Right now, guys, at 30K, we get Nosfero to the what do you call it? We get Nosfero we're able to get Eric Weathers to letter it, man. And that's the thing.
If you don't win awards for this book and the art in it, then I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it's not gonna be pretty. Like you deserve.
Dude, let me tell you this right now, man. I have found, like, I know this is like such a, speaking of The Howling, I have found my tribe, man. I have found my people who get all of this cool stuff, and it is a joy, man. I talk about this stuff with everybody I talk to in CG, man. But it's so good to have people who care about this stuff. And I don't know how I ever got by without it, because, when you look at, when I look at this, let me see if I can make this happen here. We are, where the hell is it? God, I moved at the speed of stop here. We are at almost 27K. Yes, I am going to be naming the werewolf after Malin. That is one of my plans. Yeah, there's going to be a great nod to Malin in this book, guys.
Oh,
so
wow.
back it.
That's bold. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. I actually asked him about it, and he goes, "Yeah, well, there was another character that was a parody of me, so he's happy for it." But this is where we are right now on Nosfero. We are at 26,950. We're about one backer, depending on. Whoa, didn't need to leave that page. We're one backer away of the one book and a signed art print, or two backers, and it'll be overkill for this book right here. And we're almost to 430 backers, guys. And this book is going to be beautiful. I just did the layouts for the what do you call it? Let me remove this. I just did the layouts for the next section, and I do my layouts in 4s on these bigger pages. And this is the thing I want to show you guys. Dude, I'm freaking loving this book. When I do these layouts, I have to do them in 4s, and that guy is in 2s. Obviously, he's been split in half.
Why is every panel an album cover? Will you tell me this? I know, because you're that level right now. You're just operating on all cylinders.
This is the best stuff I've ever done.
I mean, look at it. It's like, oh, well, this Frazetta painting or this Frazetta. I shouldn't say Frazetta because it's not. It's you,
dude.
Man.
You can say whatever you want to say. You call it Frazetta. Shit.
No, well, I mean, you're bringing.
How
back
dare you insult Frazetta?
Everyone who looks at it, is going to be like, he's bringing back Frazetta. You know what I mean? But I don't want you to get lost in the Frazetta love, because when
Frazetta's granddaughter followed me on Instagram, that was probably one of the best days of my life.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, I love the Frazettas. I love the Frazetta family, man. They're great people, and I'm so happy with everything. Sarah, if you're out there, if you ever see this.
Doesn't she help run the comics that they're doing now? Like she does. That's really cool.
Yeah, and she's actually working with Tasha to do a complete Frazetta book, like the giant Michelangelo ones. I can't wait for it.
Oh, that's
this is the thing, man. It's like it's the way in which you've got this snake carrying Laurel going up the stairs in these catacombs with these giant bats. The sexiness of these figures and of this kind of creepy world that's Hammer horror meets Lovecraft meets Frazetta. I can't pitch it any better than that. And I really do believe this. You know, Gabe, I was on Gabe's stream for Double Impact the other night, and Gabe really, moved the book, got a couple of backers on there. And this is the thing for me, man. And Vaughn asked me this. He goes, Shanth, how do you think the show's going? How do you think we're doing, man? And I'm like going, until I get your book to 70K, it's not working for me, okay? Because the best thing for me, God, I just sound like Joe Pesci in Lethal Weapon. Okay, it's not working for me. Okay. Yeah, exactly. I'm Leo Getz all of a sudden. Okay. But this is the thing. I need to have this channel be a place to where the people who are my artist brothers, my CG team member friends, and Gabe, that's why I play those trailers at the start of all my painting streams, guys, is that I want to see all these people do well. We revel in almost an absurd way in each other's success. We're so pumped for Eric July. We're so pumped for every creator. Matthew Fowler with Tiger Blue, which I've got right next to me. I love that book so much.
Please back the book too, man. If you want another story by me, you want to collect my stuff
Vaughn,
while I'm
can
on
you
the
talk
ground
about
floor.
You're doing a story in Tiger Blue, the sequel to Tiger Blue, please.
Okay. Tiger Blue was this awesome idea that kind of just suddenly happened where Matt Fowler came to me and was like, man, it'd be really cool if some of the Golden Age character sidekicks kind of got to replace the Super Sons and went on these kind of insane adventures while their counterparts were fighting in the war. They're kind of left in this castle in Europe all alone and bored and end up getting into insane hijinks. So with his character Tiger Blue, of course, hanging out, which is kind of funny and weird, but awesome. So I just hopped right on, man. And I was like, I get to write Black Terror's sidekick, Kid Terror. Yeah. So yeah, man, I wrote this awesome brutal battle where they fight against Phantoma in the zoo. And I was like, you need to hire like other people. I think he brought up like, it'd be cool to hire other people to do different stories. And I was like, how about Norwal? How about Clint? And he hired him. And I was like, oh, yes. This is getting cool. This book's getting cooler by the second. And then they both just kill it on their stories. Jose Garcia is doing the art on all of them. And he's just, I love him. He's someone I was looking forward to working with, and we finally got to work together on this. And I think it came out into like one of the most high energy, fun, kind of witty, kind of like hilarious stories you're gonna read in a long time. But it's like cool superhero action, you know, with these kids like getting into crazy hijinks. So check it out.
Oh no, I'm not a massive fan of Jose Garcia. No, please don't give me more of his incredible artwork. Yeah.
There's the Phantoma. I got to design her and get to write her character, and I wrote a cool backstory for her. And now I kind of am writing her own little like one shot. So
guys,
I like the Golden Agers, man. There's something about them. And not like in that old timey like cliche way where it's like, hey guys, do you remember? It's not like that. It's like, hey, what if we took them and made them cooler than what's Marvel's doing? Which, guys, it's not that hard to do that, you guys.
People of the chat.
It's just it's not hard. Yeah, it's just brutal. He gets stuff. Matt is so underrated for the artists he brings together to make these like work of art, like books that you're gonna love owning one day, because they're like pieces of history. And then the animations he got for this are just amazing, guys.
Yeah,
it's really cool. There's some good stuff to this book, and the team came together with the cherry on top because Mike Barron did a story as well. So you've got a legend stepping out to just make high tea stories on this, which that's an honor for me, man.
Yeah. So Jim Cox has a question. Jose get his book out yet? Is that which one is that one? Lumina Vox? Is that the one he's asking about?
Lumina Vox. Yeah, I don't know. The last update I heard he was still coloring, I thought.
Yeah, there you go. Busiest man. Yeah, Jose is a beast. Busiest man in the biz at the moment. Yeah. I'm going to bring an old character from the past and make it modern, way past the first superhuman. There you go.
When I wrote Terror in the Trenches, I just said it's 30 years later after World War II. So it's just straight up in the 70s, but that wasn't important for me. The important part was to remove everything and destroy his entire neighborhood. Like that's what was important. So you don't see it's not about the 70s, even though it takes place in New York, and in New York in the 70s, cops would literally hand tourists a little pamphlet that's with a Grim Reaper on it that said, "Welcome to Fear City," which is perfect for my story and perfect for Black Terror. That gets played on. So that was when I found that out, I was like, that's perfect. I'm putting it in. But it's not about the 70s. So when you bring a character into the new era, don't worry about our era as much as the character, if that makes sense. Like
I'm just gonna
don't make it all about like fish out of water or whatever. You know what I mean?
I just want to refresh this and see if there's justice in the world or not. So let's just see. No, it's still at 11:38:80. So there's no justice in the world right now. So
great book though. It's gonna be, you guys are gonna love it.
Dude.
Or you get 4 books really. So it's an awesome little team up. I thought people would kind of dig it. I was really loved working with Matt on it. He's cool, man. Great boss. Great vision on this. Great direction. And people, I hate it when people miss out on stuff like this. Please don't, because
don't miss out on this.
It's that cool. These books are that cool.
This is the other thing, and I can't overstate this.
I had to beat Dynamite, guys.
And let me just say, I've never heard that said. Wink. Well, this is the other thing too. Every single creator you're seeing here in Comicsgate, right, is trying to put together the best work, because it's not just about funding a project. It's about funding a parallel economy, as Eric July says. And it's also about funding a place where the artists who believe in free speech, believe in saying thank you to their customers, and believe in trying to entertain you and not lecture you, are trying to get stuff off the ground. And when I see, Matthew Fowler and the beautiful book, like I'm somebody who has his book right here next to me. There's a handful of books that I try to keep within reach so that I can look at them and remind myself, man, we're doing the coolest stuff in this biz.
Yeah.
But it is more than just a monetary total when you see how things are going with people backing these campaigns. When you see your campaign moving, when you see yourself cross these various hurdles and it gets to 20K, and then it starts to close in on 30K, and then you're able to hire, in my case, a brilliant letterer, or you're able to think of something, increasing the quality of the book, but also just that it's getting to an audience. That's the big thing. That's the shot in the arm you need, because it's all day, 24 hours a day work for us in Comicsgate. And I'm sure Eric July, I don't know if you guys know this, he operates on a 48-hour day. He folds space and time. He's, like James Brown, for God's sake, hardest working man in show business. And this is the thing about it. Those totals are more than just, oh, look at how much money I have. Nobody is thinking in those terms. We're thinking about, I can give them the best product possible. This liberates me to have the resources I need to do the best project I could do. And so I want to see this book move. If it's possible.
Calling it. Exactly, man.
If you haven't backed it, please do. If you haven't backed any of these campaigns.
We're definitely not doing this for the tail. Okay. We're definitely
Tiger
not
Blue,
doing this to necessarily roll in the blue tail.
Yes, that's right. That was terrible. I'm old.
I know. It's fine. I'm cool with it. I'm an uncle, so I have to tell bad
there
jokes.
You go,
it's
man.
part of the fun. But I'm like immune. I'm allowed to. I'm an uncle. But it's dude, I'm gonna take advantage, damn it. But no, it's like I was just thinking. I think about that every day because I'm not rolling in the money from doing this. This is my full-time job, and to entertain people is what makes me happy. To interact and have a home in Comicsgate is what makes me happy. This is so I really love that I have this opportunity. So I'm gonna just do as well as I can. If I fall flat on my face, so be it, man. I did what I loved for once in my life, and not too many people get to say that enough these days.
Hail Dan and hail Octagon Comics and hail Green Laser and hail all of you great guys in the chat. It's great to see
you guys.
you
Make it possible.
You
we're
guys
not
make
all
this
rolling
stuff
in the
happen.
money though. Some of us are just barely treading water here, but we still want to keep doing this. See if we can grow it.
This is the thing, right? For the love of comics, and one of the things that Comicsgate has done and has the sort of the promise of Comicsgate, and I mean that in terms of the potential, not in terms of any involuntary blood oath any of you have taken, although I'm not here again to judge your journey. If you went away to that retreat, things happen. Hail Jeremy Burtz as always, by the way. Is that you got to understand this, is that we believe that it takes, as we're seeing, a small fraction of the audience, a passionate audience, to give creators a lifestyle where they can do their best work. It buys you time. And I know you guys all know that. That's why we value your money. We never take your money for granted. We know your money is a representation of time you spend working to earn it. It's not just your money, it's your time. And we want to repay your time in kind for that money. And so the more that we have towards these projects, the more we can give, the more it really is buying away the
I see what you're saying. You're saying you've been thinking about what you would do if you had that Eric D. July money.
Let me tell you something.
What would you do? If you had it,
gone to H&R Block, let me tell you, when I think about what Eric's managing with all of that stuff, it does make me a little tired.
I would have a lot of books and stories to make, and I'd hire a lot of artists, and I would, I'd get a bullpen going, and I would get it on YouTube as much as I could too, and get the fans interacting, and get a lot, start hustling and bustling and getting people excited about new stories. Turn out another Monster MD. Got to do another one of those. I've been thinking about that a lot lately.
Yeah, for me, guys, I will be honest with you. This is probably where you and Eric have a lot in common, and different creators have a lot in common. My goal for this, if I had the resources, the money and the resources, that these continued successful campaigns, and I realize I've done 2 Indiegogo art book campaigns. I feel incredibly fortunate that Indiegogo was around, and this whole Comicsgate thing is around, and I feel very grateful for the support I'm getting for Nosfero. But it would allow me all those things that people say, oh, Shanth, we want art prints of your stuff. Oh, Shanth, we want you to do this. Because to me, it's all about painting and making this book. I'm very much a solo, project thing, except for the pinups I do for you guys. I can't do any of that stuff because I'm literally the guy digging the ditches and having to lay out the plan for where the ditch is going. So it's that's the thing. If I need more hands on deck to make that stuff possible, and I can't do all of it. Yeah, just
you need to hire some assistants. Yeah. I mean, in Japan, have you ever watched the show called Bakuman on?
Yes, I have. God, we're nerds, and yes, I have.
God, we're nerds. Well, it's a show, everybody. It's a anime about two kids who are making a manga, and for real though, like they're breaking into the world of manga, and you learn how Japan runs things, kind of from like the Shonen Jump perspective, which is the boys magazine, where they produce a new 20-page story every week and put it in a huge magazine, or release a huge magazine every week of all these different stories that people love. Like crazy, and when it doesn't sell and people vote it off, like, you're canceled, man, and a new story steps up. It is a crazy story pump like machine. It's a story machine. Anyway, watching the show, it's got a lot of cheesy anime, not like cheesiness that keeps it being like a story, but you learn about how they create and how editors are there to help, and how they get assistance. Like, get these once you have a hit and prove yourself by yourself, you get these assistants that come in that help. So
yeah, I mean, for me, it's the craziest thing, guys. My dream and why I want to get to 30K, it's not just about hiring, it's like, oh, then someone could take, work off my shoulders. I have so much respect for Eric Weathers as an artist, as a creative brother, all my crew on CG team. It's such a great group of people. And the same thing goes for folks like Gabe. And the idea that I am going to bring in an artist I respect at 30K. Like, that's a stretch goal. I told Eric the other night, I said, that is the stretch goal I'm most excited about, because it's going to be great for you guys, and it's going to be awesome for the book. And I have never had the luxury before of collaborating with other artists. My luxury is when I do pinups, whether it's the pinup that Vaughn commissioned me to do, or pinup that Rob commissioned me to do, or the one that Phil, Hale Zaid Comics, the other Zaid Comics, and then the other Zaid, by the way, who I've got something I've commissioned for. Those things are great. Those are all about, don't worry, I've already got, are the assistants cute and female? She's upstairs, and she's my lovely wife of 20-something years, and yes, she is cute and she is female, let me tell you. And so this is the thing, right? I love art so dadgum much. It's absurd. Like, I thank God every day that I get to of all the things in my life, that I get to experience other people's arts. I get to hang with you guys who are passionate about this stuff, and you guys back it. You care about Comicsgate. We care about it too. We love it, man. And thank you guys.
How could you not love art and do this? I mean, we're honestly art fetishists, I swear. Sometimes I feel like as creators, some of us are just art fetishists, or like enthusiasts who just love commissioning like awesome art. Like, it is, I mean, we in the end, I'm sure we all love telling stories, but for some of us, it's just like, dude, it's the art. It's the art that gets you to buy the book, you know? But it's the story that makes it like, something else, something next level, something special.
Yeah. I mean, I got to tell you guys this. I feel like I want to. If you don't want to be a little bit spoiled on Nosfero, and this is your warning, mute your mic. Mute your mic right now. If you don't want to be spoiled, mute YouTube right now. It's the last time I'm going to say it right on this one. So there's a sequence in here that I was setting up the entire book that was so fun, where Nosfero gets this little thing done to him when he was a kid, where there's this paint that goes down his forehead, this mystical potion that opens up this doorway to evil in his mind. And when he is going to rescue Laurel at the end, they have mixed up said potion with that brush, and they are painting it down the center of her belly. And that is the stakes of that finale. That the same thing that happened to him on his mind level is about to happen to her at that particular level, opening a door to something awful. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that chakra level where the Buddha...
Like in Howard the Duck.
Yes. Where the Buddha comes out,
the overlords.
And so anyway, now you can uncover your ears. But this is the stuff to where when you see Laurel on that sacrificial altar and you see Lascivia with that, you go, dang, this is it's on, and it still doesn't tell you what's going to happen. That's the rest of it. But,
that's pulp for you.
Yes,
That's
you
cereals.
can unmute. You're good to go. And so that is what it is. Like we talked about Chekhov's, gun, and we've talked about all of those kinds of things. And there's more than a few of those in there. But you build a world, you build its physics, and you build characters people invest in. Yeah, just like in any movie, right, where you see something bad happen to a character, and then you go, "Oh no," when you realize what the consequences are for the next character. That's what it is. Yeah, exactly. I love past Master Dan gonna hit people with false spoilers. I can't believe he killed him off. Yeah, at the end of Nosfero, you realize Bruce Willis is dead, and he's been dead the whole movie.
What?
Yeah, I can't believe it. It's a total shocker. Yeah. So
that's not how I remember Die Hard.
Yeah. Absolutely. It was a weird ending to Die Hard.
That's why it's called Die Hard.
That's why it's called Die Hard, man. So yes, please check out this book. I'm going to refresh it one more time to see if there's any justice in this universe. Come on, people. Come on. Oh, if somebody backs, let us know your number in the chat, guys. Let us know your number in the chat. And Nosfero is trucking along here. Let's see where we are. We're still at 26, 950, 427 backers. 3 more, and we're going to be at 430. Thank you guys for all of your support on this stuff, man. We do appreciate you. Bruce, no Tiger Blue. Yeah, so this is our plan, folks, for next stream. Vaughn and I are going to be getting our draw on. We're going to be talking horror with you guys, fielding questions about whatever horror movies you want to bring up, whether we've seen them or not. We're going to try to keep up with you, and you guys can let us know. Please do back Nosfero the Crypt Walker. We're having so much fun with this show. This has been one of the biggest audiences we've had watching the show. And interestingly enough, and something that's going to be tough for these lovely soulful folks like Vaughn and I, when we start talking about our artwork, mixing that in with the horror and the stuff we're working on, you guys show up, and we love that. There it is. Vaughn is all skulls. All the time. Oh, dude. We got to do something killer for Halloween. What's up, Snake Dog?
It's a little laugh track we could use.
I love it, dude. I love it, man. This is what it's all about. You guys make this stuff so much fun for us to do, and we appreciate you backing it, man. Vaughn, thoughts, man. Close us out.
Closes out. Well, werewolves are sexy and can go to toe-to-toe with vampires, man. And that gypsy lady you saw tonight proves it. But yeah, the Howling, check it out. Appreciate it.
Please
for
do.
all of its it stands the test of time. It's a good story. It holds up. Good acting. Great special effects. Bipedal werewolf gorgeousness. 80s wonderfulness. And sexy gypsy ladies that make Vaughn feel really sad and like he's missing out. And what else can I say? I mean, it's always a pleasure, Shanth, being on with you. It's always a pleasure getting to hang out with all these awesome, beautiful people and getting their support. Thank you guys. You guys changed my life. You made Rising in Comics for real. So I appreciate you. And yeah, man, I've had a blast. So as usual, we went way over an hour. It's just become a natural 2-hour show, and I'm good with it. I'm having a great time. So thanks, man, for having me. And everybody remember, the werewolf, it's okay to let out the wolf sometimes. They say a gentleman is a patient wolf. He's the wolf is in there. That's why there's a kinship that we've always had. And that's why we turn them into our dogs. Into our bitches, literally. So remember the wolf side. It has its place too. The dark side always has its place in all of our heroes and all of us. So don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. Have a great night.
Absolutely, guys. Yes, and we'll stick around. We'll say hey after this thing's over. I'm going to play us out. Listen to that skull. Yeah, the werewolf is in all of us. He said it was. Said I was beautiful. Hail, Mr. Monkey Boy. Beware the moon. Bark at the moon.
Don't let it go to your head now.
Yeah, exactly. Don't let it go to your head. Take care, everybody, and thank you so much for being here. You guys are awesome, and we will catch you guys later. Peace.
Later.
We all go a little mad sometimes. Haven't you? People all go mad in some places. Their hatred even defeats the burden.